So what is AML CFT audit? This is the definition given by the FATF. In general, AML CFT audit is a dynamic, risk-based, independent oversight process that allows institutions to understand the effectiveness of AML safety controls. This includes determining whether the organization is compliant with applicable financial crime laws, regulation, and internal policies and procedures. In summary, AML safety auditor will perform following activities. They perform testing to assess the design and effectiveness of controls aimed at mitigating AML safety risk. They identify and escalate control weakness to senior business and compliance management. They coordinate with compliance and business groups to develop corrective action plans where control gaps are identified. They ensure that corrective actions have been implemented sustainably. But these are not exhaustive list. There are a lot of supporting tasks that auditors need to perform along with these larger tasks. Now let's discuss why AML safety audit is different from other types of audit like financial audit, and why this audit should be performed by the auditor with special AML safety qualification. Most of the audit professionals are basically a historian who provides an opinion on the truth and fairness of a set of financial statements covering a period of time in the past. The auditing and independent testing of money laundering and terrorism financing is very different. There is a requirement to look at every business process with customer transaction, whereas the financial statements are required to be materially correct. In the area of anti-money laundering, there is almost zero tolerance for error. In AML safety audit, auditors should put a greater emphasis on the design of effective controls in order to prevent and detect potential money laundering and terrorism financing events in the future. I want to stress that I am not against certified public accountants, but audit teams should have an AML safety expert with the certification like CAMS-AUDIT or equivalent. When audit is performed by anybody, it can put a company at the risk. That is, when regulators come in to look at the work effectiveness, they will find flaws in the reports, therefore perceive the whole organization to be weak on AML. Organizations need to hire subject matter expertise, not just accountants or career auditors, and make sure that audit team includes people who have been there and done that. An auditor is a last line of defense in context of risk management, 3 lines of defense. Ultimately, if auditor fails as the last line of defense, meaning unable to detect loopholes in AML safety program, the financial institution can be exposed to enforcement action, including their executives. Now you may be asking yourself, my organization has an internal audit or compliance department who does the testing of AML safety program. So will that be enough? Well, it depends. Compliance testing can be defined as a periodic, independent and objective assessment of compliance related process and controls. The aim of compliance testing is to assess whether the elements, process and controls of compliance program are designed appropriately and are operating as designed. It is always good to have some independent body reviewing AML safety program of your organization frequently, but it comes with its own share of weaknesses. Despite the entire regulatory framework, compliance monitoring and testing adopted in many banks is a still tick box or checklist approach. It is performed periodically or repetitively without consideration of the big picture of risk and with no forward looking issues being raised. This myopic approach by many banks results in failure to adequately assess the control framework and hence run the big risk of regulatory censure or hefty fines. In several instances, compliance monitoring and testing is embedded in business as usual with no or limited authority or powers to influence the business action regarding the control framework. This ultimately leads to a situation where compliance testing reports are not taken very seriously. Often, the senior management behaves in an intimidating way towards the compliance testing staff. In some power structures, the situation is so worse that one bad word can end a compliance testing officer's career. There are also cases of compliance officers in some of the biggest banks experience intimidation by business management to downplay or suppress results of their compliance testing or other compliance identified issues. So, if you want to pursue AML safety audit as your career, or if you are thinking of conducting AML safety audit in your organization, then we have a course in Udemy, how to perform AML safety audit and a guide to CAMS audit, where we'll explain what is AML audit, how should you plan AML audit, how to perform AML audit in your organization, how to present your findings and recommendation, as well as follow up on the observation that you have found during your AML safety audit. We hope that you will find this lecture useful. You can find the link for this course in the description section below. Finally, make a right choice and call us for free consultancy at We are risk simplifiers. Our expertise includes AML safety risk assessment, AML safety audit, and any other matters related to AML safety to help you manage AML safety risk of your organization easily and at a reasonable cost. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.